So there was a question in the chat about how do you go about convincing your doctor to do something more than just a mammogram?
I was going to say too, right before you answer, Leslie, one of the things I love about your website is that you have all of these roadblocks, right? We are constantly being confronted with, oh, don't worry about it, or you don't, it's probably benign, et cetera, all of these language. And you've actually put together a, a cheat sheet for us to navigate with verbatim language we could utilize. So that's exactly where I was going to go with this too. When your when your radiologist says, no, you may not need an MRI, even though you're advocating for one.
Yeah, we just took all of the quote reasons that we hear that women get when they try to insist and persist and put it in a one-page document for women to have and read. And then we created basically a comeback for each reason that we've heard. So, and everything is continually improving, right? So if you come up with something else that's not on that document, we'll add it in and keep making it better and better, so that the next person coming along can have an answer to that question in their mind before they go. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've got kind of a cheat sheet for roadblocks. We've got a cheat sheet for talking with your insurance company. We've got a cheat sheet for what to, like what's the summary of what density is about to kind of give to a friend, that sort of thing. Yeah, so check it out. Check it out.
Those are great handouts. And I would also add that there are lots of standalone MRI locations who will give you an MRI. You might have to pay out of pocket, but a lot of those screening facilities also, if you negotiate with them, they will cut some of the cost as well if you talk to them about your specific situation. And then you can take the receipt and get reimbursed by your insurance company if they do find something. So those are options. They're not easy to do. It's much better to get it approved ahead of time.
Right.
But if this is a thing where you're like, I have to have this, something is there, you find something, you can get reimbursed, even if your doctor's not super cooperative. But I agree, those the cheat sheets are great on the website for navigating a lot of this.
If you're a novice at this, if you're a novice at this, it's and you're nerve-wracked a little bit about it, which we can be.
But Leslie, a lot of the other questions are timing. How often should someone get surveillance, especially if you have dense breasts? What do you have any suggestions there?
The standard is once a year. I would certainly stick with that because that is that's what's recommended. You won't have any trouble getting something once a year because it is standard, right? Beyond that, it's an individual thing. I know some people who are high risk, who are on a 6-month alternating thing. A lot of times it's, a mammogram, 6 months, MRI, 6 months. I also know people who are on alternating 3D mammogram, molecular breast imaging, 6 months, routine. Again, as you suggested, that's all out of standard and more than standard. And we'd have to fight for that, especially if our doctor isn't gonna come. Some of them will be like, oh, well, you are, have X reason, Y reason, and Z reason. So I recommend this instead, and that's a great doctor, who's willing to go beyond.
Yes. Absolutely. But let's not forget that you may have a doctor who is perfectly willing to order the test, but then you've got the insurance company who may or may not want to do it as well. And that's something that to consider. Also, I have found, having very good insurance through my husband's work, my doctors are much more apt to order more tests because they know that I have good insurance. And so I think that this does come back to some disparities. If you've got Medicare or Medicaid, it's a lot more rigid in terms of how often you can get certain tests.
It is. And what I've also found, much to my chagrin, which I didn't really realize until I got into, going to doctors all the time. If something's not covered by insurance, they won't even bring it up.
Wow.
They will not even bring it up to you. And I'm thinking, I want the option to either fight with my insurance company about it or pay for it myself, or do what you suggested a few minutes ago and try to negotiate. But if I don't know it even exists and it's not presented to me because it's not a no-brainer that my insurance company is going to pay for it, puts me at a disadvantage.